Hi, everyone. Melanie Taylor here, the Director of Education for Eat, Breathe, Thrive. I am one of the 4 nonprofits that are working together to bring you the Yoga for Recovery virtual symposium on healing from eating disorders addiction that's coming up on September 23rd to 25th. And today I have the distinct pleasure of speaking with Dixie Brown, the founder and executive director of Willow Place, which is a treatment center for women by women. Dixie, thank you so much for being here with me today. Would you take some time and tell everybody a little about you and Willow Place?
Sure. Hi, I am so excited to be here. I have worked with Eat, Breathe, Thrive for many years now and have watched them grow and expand their reach. So it's quite an honor to be a part of what you all are doing here today. And I founded Willow Place about 12 years ago with my business partner, Allison Chambers. We recognized the need for a program that was specific to women and the very distinct needs of women, especially related to trauma and eating disorders. We found that they were not receiving the care that they needed in order to truly heal. And so we also felt that they were not able to have the access to the holistic and integrative medicine practices that we felt like were most effective for treatment, which include yoga, things like meditation, acupuncture, the nutritional component of healing. So we developed Willow Place as a way of really offering women the type of treatment that we know that they needed and that they really deserve to have. So we started in Palm Beach, Florida, and we expanded to Asheville, North Carolina. Now we are only in Asheville, North Carolina, which is a beautiful mountain town, a great place for healing. It was really founded, early in the early 1900s, specifically for the healing purposes of the Blue Ridge Mountains. So it's a better place to come and to heal. So I have been an integrative medicine practitioner for about 15 years. My background is counseling psychology, and my PhD is in integrative medicine. So I've done most of my research as it relates to addiction treatment and eating disorder treatment, specifically in regards to the trauma component that comes associated with substance use and eating disorders.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Dixie.
Yeah.
And as you were speaking, you were reminding me of things I read on your website about Willow Place, and some things really stood out. And you just said that integrative, so this comprehensive medical and therapeutic approach to recovery, which I think makes sense, right? The sense of everything you shared. But there's a couple other things there that really stood out, and I was really moved by. We believe in empowering our clients to regain a sense of self-worth and self-love with a wholehearted commitment from your team that every person leaves your treatment center thriving with a bright future ahead, like knowing they have a bright future ahead, which gives me goosebumps. Can you tell me a little bit about why you feel that's so important, and why, or maybe even share some of the experience you've had with that, how that really helps with treatment?
Yeah, absolutely. When I get asked this question, I end up self-disclosing, because for me, the treatment process started when I needed help. I went to a hospital originally for help for my substance use disorder, and I discovered a very stigmatized and biased and really unsafe environment. And luckily, there was a nurse there that guided me and helped find a program that was supportive, that gave me hope, that helped me understand that I was a human being that was struggling with, with maladaptive behaviors as a direct result of the trauma that I'd experienced. And so my own treatment experience led me to a path to seek further education in psychology and to really help people that were struggling the same way that I was. I found that when I needed help, there was someone there that had empathy and compassion and love. And that was the thing that gave me the hope that I could get help too. I thought rehab was for, celebrities and rich people. I had no idea that it was accessible to everyone, that I actually had an opportunity to heal and to get better. And so when I was given that chance, I knew that, for me, that God had called me to be able to help other people in the same way that I was helped. And so that's really what geared my passion for helping others, is to see the struggle that I went through and the struggle I went through in finding the support and then actually getting the right support. So all of those components together were what guided me in my journey in helping other people.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think there's a sense of, I know if this is true for Chelsea, this is true for me. There's usually one person, and you said like empathy and brought love and let you know you were worthy and really helped you with hope that there was a place that you could get support that was actually supportive, that did take care of the human being, not the addiction, but the human being that's facing, as you said, this maladaptive approach to dealing with trauma and dealing with our suffering.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this in advance, but it has me sort of wondering, at the symposium, we've got this wide audience that's coming. And when we were thinking back, like if I look back to our planning sessions of what did we want people to get out of the symposium, I think it's the inspiration to create the environments that you're already creating. So if you were to give advice of somebody who maybe is starting out with that or is doing that work, what would you want them to know about really like what it's like to actually do what you set out to do?
It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it is really hard work. And, I think the thing that I always, talk about with my supervisees, with my staff, is how important our own self-care is that, that when we're doing this work, that we're imparting our support and our wisdom, and we're offering all of ourselves to our clients. We have to be able to, at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, really build that foundation for ourselves and feel supported in our own right. So whatever that looks like for you as a provider, as a person, is there a morning routine that you follow? Is there something you do on your lunch break, a walk, what do you do in the evening to kind of, reset yourself from the day, and leaving that work at home, but knowing that you can, replenish yourself and then be able to show up the next day to do this work, because like I said, it's hard work. So that's been the biggest thing for me, is that we can't do this if our cup isn't full. So making sure that we take that time every single day to nourish ourselves and, mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
I love that, Dixie. You remind me, my grandmother, as an Irish grandmother, taught me to drink tea. Wow. And that's a like filling the cup that we all kind of think that cup was made to be shared. It wasn't. It was for us to be nourished so that we could go out and do this work. Yes. So that sense of constantly keeping your own cup full, I think, is so beautiful. And I read, when I was reading about your own bio, this statement: her greatest joy is seeing her clients fall in love with themselves in ways they never imagined possible. And I can imagine, to do that, what you just said about self-care, it really takes that sense of being able to feel joy and wonder. You've got to be replenished to do that as well. Do you want to share anything about, this work that you've done? You mentioned doing this in 15 years. What has it been like for you moving from being in recovery to actually helping others? I imagine there's a lot of emotion and roller coaster around that.
Yes, a ton. And, it's morphed and it's changed, and it's been, valleys, peaks and valleys. And it has been quite a journey, I would say, over the last 15 years of, they mention a lot of times in treatment or in therapy about that onion and being those layers, of peeling those layers. And I think every season of my life has been a new layer of uncovering of who I am as a person, and, my therapeutic approach, and how I'm working with people, and what's, nourishing my soul, and how I can impart that on other people. So it's definitely been a learning process. I do a lot of teaching now and a lot of supervision. And so that's been one of my greatest joys now, is that I'm not doing as much direct patient care. I'm actually helping the providers who are the ones that are doing the direct care. So that's been a real joy for me, is to help, model the behaviors that I know support my recovery, but also support my capacity to be a good provider. So that's
Mm.
really been the work I'm doing now. So that's kind of changed from direct care with the clients to actually working more with the providers.
I love that. I'm going to say that for others, that sense of like caring for ourselves, our own mental health, our own recovery, and caring for the caregiver in you and the caregiver in others. Like, just what a rich experience that is. I can sort of see it in you. It's like me, it kind of seeps out of your pores a bit. It's hard to hide. That's really wonderful. You mentioned there about like feeding your soul and that sense of supporting yourself. I'm curious what part of the symposium you're excited about.
Oh, I'm excited about, I was looking at the list of speakers, and I'm just astounded by, their vast wisdom and knowledge. And I was seeing name after name that I knew. And I thought, wow, this is amazing that we're bringing all of these people together with such experience and knowledge, and an international approach too, like the accessibility and the reach that this symposium is offering. That's what I'm excited about, is how many people are actually going to get, their hands on information about how to create integrative and holistic care by using yoga, and how do we use these different approaches to treat mental health. And so I'm just very excited about everything that each person has to offer. I know there's a lot of researchers and a lot of providers that have a vast experience, and this is going to be fantastic.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you for sharing that. That sense of community coming together as a global community to solve this problem and work together. I mean, that's what you've created at Willow Place, and that's what we're hoping to do with the symposium as well. And so I'm very excited too. Let's take a moment and tell people how to find Willow Place. Where should they look on social or on the internet? What's the best way to get in touch with you if you're interested in treatment?
Yeah, so our website, willowplace4women.com, and our Instagram handle is at willowplace4women, and Facebook also. So search us there. And I'm on LinkedIn as Dixie Brown, so you can find me there if providers want to connect there.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Dixie. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. With everything you're doing, I am so present to you sharing your time with others and inspiring others by your journey. I love this type of stuff because it just reinvigorates my day. So thank you so much for sharing that with me.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, on behalf of the Give Back Yoga Foundation, us here at Eat, Breathe, Thrive, Yoga for 12 Steps Recovery, and the International Association of Yoga Therapists, which are our four co-hosts for the symposium, I also want to thank you for helping us get the word out and sharing your excitement with others. You've been a key supporter in us helping to get that word out. If you are interested in coming to the symposium, you can go to givebackyoga.org. Givebackyoga.org at the website, and you'll see a link there to get to the symposium. Again, thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you.